Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
We will continue Birkot HaShachar. This class also be Ilui Nishmat, Sarah Bat Moshe. And we shall continue. So today, we're going to do the next bracha. If you want to join us, you're welcome to join us. If we summarize where we are, we're in the fifth bracha of Birkot HaShachar, although we only really analyzed the fourth and the fifth now. But the first bracha, we thank Hashem for taking our neshama, or we invite Hashem, take our neshama and take care of it. We wake up, we thank Hashem for taking care of it with Modeh. We wash our hands. We thank Hashem for keeping our body in good health, with all the holes working properly, either to take things in or take things out. We thank Hashem for the pure neshama He gave us back. And now we thank Hashem for giving us the binah, the understanding, to be able to differentiate between good and evil. Now we say, Baruch Ata Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, blessed are you God, or blessed are you Hashem, our God, King of the universe, Pokeach Ivrim, who opens the eyes of the blind, who let us see. And we did speak about the fact that there was some discussion whether someone who is literally blind says this bracha or not. And we have said that, at least nowadays, the conclusion is everybody says it. Because it's a general bracha, thanking for, it might be a different order, because,
It is, yeah, but that's okay.
Ashkenazim, they don't respect the order. No, it's just different customs, yeah. It's somewhere there, Pokeach Ivrim. So everybody says this. Now, we're going to speak about today about a famous concept called Ashgacha Pratit, divine providence. Everybody knows what divine providence is?
So, the Hebrew word for that is?
Ashgacha Pratit,
Okay.
or Ashgacha Pratis.
Yes, right, okay.
Depends how you pronounce it.
Right.
Divine providence. The Baal Shem Tov explained divine providence. He says that every single detail of what goes on in the world, it's absolutely micromanaged by Hashem. Hashem is not a very empowering boss. For example, I have different groups of employees, but one of them, I don't need to know what they're doing until somebody complains. Because I've empowered the person who manages that team to just, take care of things. He's been with me for like 10, 12 years. And so he's making decisions that I'm not approving or micromanaging, and I don't want to approve or micromanage, right? Even though Hashem gives us every power we have, but He is micromanaging what happens in the world to the slightest detail. To the point that the Baal Shem Tov famously says that when a leaf is blown by the wind, and the leaf moves and it ends up on top of an ant, and it gives the ant some respite from the sun, some shadows, that was by Ashgacha Pratit. Even what is happening to a little ant and a leaf is all managed by Hashem. Again, this doesn't take away free will. So even though I gave the example of empowering, Hashem has given us free will. We're not going to delve into free will now, that's a different subject. But everything that's going on around us is being micromanaged by Hashem. Nothing is out of His control. Nothing is random. Zero. There is zero randomness in the world. And so that gives you a different perspective of what's going on. And so when I mentioned yesterday the two stories about the rooster who never actually made the sound, but they woke up or the lady who put the
Bob,
timer
yeah.
wrong. Those two stories separately are just two stories. But the fact I saw them within 20, 30 minutes, I was able to see the Ashkacha Pratit. As Hashem is saying, dude, there's something here. Maybe you should use this for the next couple of days as an example for the next couple of brachos that you're going to teach. Yeah?
You saw the babushka, the Russian woman first before they.
Yeah. Now the Russian woman, I was looking for a rooster story.
Oh, okay.
I literally looked for rooster in Chabad.org and I found that. But the second one, which is not in Chabad.org again, it was somewhere in social media. I had nothing to do with it. It just happened to be. Or they say there's a famous story about the Rebbe. There's not many stories about the Rebbe because she was a very private person. But there's a story. The Rebbe had a schedule where she went different places during the week. And obviously, she had somebody who would drive her. And wherever she would go, would always take the same route. So one day they're going wherever they're going. And there's a sign in the highway that says detour. Everybody has to get off the highway at that point. And so they exit, and she sees a distraught lady and people carrying muebles, ¿cómo se dice? Furniture. So she asked the driver to stop and find out what's going on. So the driver goes, and this lady, she's actually Jewish. And, she couldn't pay her rent, and she's being evicted. And she tells the driver, please find out how much she owes. Okay, so he finds out, and it's a good amount. She takes out her checkbook. She writes a check, says, please give it to them, tell them to stop, put everything back. And then they keep going. And the driver is like, Rebbe said, you just stop people and give them money randomly. It's not like the Rebbe and Rebbetzin were rich. Yes, the Rebbe gave out dollars every day. Those were the dollars of the organization. But, so she said, look, it's Ashkacha Pratit, it's divine providence. We go down this road every time, and there's a big sign that says detour. It says nothing happens randomly. Hashem's telling us to detour, and you see a person in distress, and she's Jewish. So I write a check. Because if we're here, it means that we're meant to be here, and we're made to take advantage of this opportunity that Hashem made for us. Almost as if saying the whole reason hundreds of cars had to detour was at least for us to write this check. So she was able to see the Ashkacha Pratit and do it. Now, I remember this story because of another story I read a couple of days ago about a religious family who was traveling through Australia, not in Melbourne, Sydney. They were in the outback. And they were in one city that I don't remember the name, and they were traveling to a different city. It was like a 6 to 8 hour drive through the Australian outback.
That's a rough area.
The middle of nowhere, but in Australia. Not even in sometimes you can be in the middle of nowhere in the United States, but this is the middle of nowhere in Australia. And he's driving and he realizes that he has to put on gas. But the exit he could make it, but a car goes and he cuts him off and he's not able to make the exit. So then he says, I'm going to drive slowly because I need to conserve gas, and I'm going to go on the right lane to make sure I can exit the next time. And, thank God they made it. Next exit, about 20 minutes after that, they get to a gas station, middle of nowhere. He's putting on gas. Again, this is like a rabbi. He has a beard. And a gentleman comes up to them and says, excuse me, are you Jewish? He says, no, I'm just, I'm wearing this costume.
Yeah.
So it ends up, it's a Jewish guy in the middle of nowhere in a gas station. So he ends up putting on tefillin. And the guy even was able to say Shema by himself. He knew it by heart. So again, in this case, he didn't have to make a decision to write a check. He was approached by somebody else. but everything is being handled from upstairs, so to speak. And so with this backdrop, again, we're saying this bracha of Pokeach Ivrim, the one who gives sight to the blind. What was the exact wording? Who opens the eyes of the blind. And obviously on a literal, simple level, we are thanking Hashem for the ability to see, which again, nowadays it's even bigger, or not bigger, clearer, because 100 years ago, 200 years ago, you didn't have glasses. A lot of people were quote unquote blind because they couldn't see, but with glasses it would have been fixed. So we can even say thank you Hashem for glasses. My family has been in the glasses business for the past 41 years since I was born.
Really?
The year I was born, my father, alav hashalom, was invited to participate in a company in Venezuela of glasses, and the family has been there ever since. So we have been helping to open the eyes of the blind for 41 years. And as they say, when a kid is born, in Spanish they say he's born with bread under his arm. It doesn't sound so cool in English, but con el pan bajo el brazo. You speak Spanish? It says when you have a baby, he's born with the bread under his arm, meaning he's going to bring parnasa, so you can take care of him. So I came with that parnasa when I was born. I came with the glasses business. So anyway, so in the simple sense, we're thanking Hashem that we can see. And in the olden days, they would literally say this after they were able to literally see for the first time after waking up. And so that is still the basic reason of why we say this bracha. But as we mentioned, there has to be a deeper reason of why we say all these blessings. And here we're thanking Hashem, and at the same time we're asking Hashem. Remember, a bracha, a blessing, is a flow of vitality that comes from Hashem. So we're asking Hashem for the power to be able to see beyond what is obvious, to see what is beyond what is obviously in front of our eyes,
And with insight, seeing with insight, right? Bina.
With insight, but
Insight.
also with foresight, and
Foresight,
with
okay.
Ashgacha Pratit sight.
Okay.
Because imagine,
He said insight,
Insight, I said.
Ah.
hindsight.
No,
Oh, sorry.
not hindsight, insight.
Insight's more like
okay, so also
understanding.
insight,
Right.
Deep understanding.
insight,
That's what I was
foresight,
Yeah, like.
all the
sorry.
sites. Yeah? Websites, not
So
websites.
I guess what I was getting at is we have to look at it in terms of insight rather than just merely being able to see, open your eyes so you
Correct.
can see things.
You should be able to understand what's going on in front of you beyond the fact that you're seeing this. Because the fact that you're witnessing something means that Hashem wanted you to see this. If you witness some people fighting, it's not a random thing. Because everything you're seeing is Hashem wanting you to see. If you get caught off trying to go to LEC in this amazing light we have here to cross the train tracks,
No, no.
and now you have to wait 3-4 minutes extra. And some kids are happy because they're going to be late. Other kids are stressed because they're going to be late. Ashgacha pratit. Hashem wanted you to spend this extra minutes in the car with your kids, or whatever other reason he might have. Now, what if you're able to see this? Not just see the guy cutting you off, but you're able to see why this is happening. If you're able to connect the dots and say, okay, this is why I had to do this, and now I was able to meet this guy here. If I would have been 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes later, I wouldn't have seen this guy in Walgreens when I walked in. And then I was able to do X, Y, and Z. Now, you didn't control that. You might think you put Waze and, it says I'm going to get there at this time, so it's going to be this time. But it's not true. Because Waze, if you get caught off, it'll update the timing. I said, no, now you're more late. The time keeps going up. So we're telling Hashem, please bring a flow of divinity down to help us see throughout the day. We already asked Hashem, please let us distinguish between right and wrong. And now let us see the Ashgacha Pratit, the divine providence, the spirituality, the truth behind everything, every action, every event that we witness. Hashem, let us see if what is going on in front of me is from the side of Kedusha, from the side of sanctity, or from the side of the other side, the negative side, so that I can figure out what's the right decision to make, if I can recognize and see where this is coming from. And so you might have people that without their glasses, they have 20/20 vision, or they don't need glasses, but that doesn't mean they can see these kinds of things, and vice versa. It's such a, I'm trying to find the meaning in the fact that David who's not here, he usually sits here, that's why I'm putting here.
Surgery.
You're also David. No, you're not David. He literally had an operation in his eye to be able to see. He's not here because he's trying to see better, so maybe he doesn't. No, I guess he does need this bracha. I don't know. David, I hope you're watching this, not live, because you're going to have to say the bracha of Pokeach Ivrim with a lot of strength now that you have both eyes fixed, Baruch Hashem. Anyways, we could have done this class at another point. More questions or less questions would have made this class be in another day. But Ashgacha Pratit, Hashem wanted David to watch this on YouTube, not sitting right next to me, telling me it's time to pray. No. Okay. Now another idea that is brought out by this bracha is that in the previous bracha we asked Hashem for the ability to intellectually tell the difference between right and wrong, which we said is not always easy. It's not always obvious. And sometimes the intellectual difference between right and wrong is not so connected with reality. No. It's one thing to talk in theory. What do you do when your kid does this? Oh, the book says you have to be nice and say words like this, and then you do it and it doesn't work. No, it's one thing to intellectually have an idea. It's another thing to implement, to bring down and actually do it. So Pokeach Ivrim is also saying not only we want to understand the difference between right and wrong intellectually, but we want to be able to see the difference between right and wrong. Seeing is another level. No. If you could be able to see the explanation for the bracha of Pokeach Ivrim, you wouldn't need to sit for 20 minutes talking about it. You would see it in an instant. Like the Arizal says that he used to nap. He used to, because now he's in Gan Eden, but he used to nap on Shabbos. And when he would nap, he wouldn't nap and just dream. He would go to Shamayim and learn Torah in Shamayim. And so tell us what you learned. To tell you what I learned in the few minutes I was napping, I would need 80 years. Because how can I describe everything I saw? When you can see like this, and then if I need to describe it to you, I can write a whole book trying to describe this whole thing. And so it's not only knowing the difference between right and wrong, but to be able to see it. Be able to see the difference between right and wrong. So we'll still have a minute, right? I feel the pressure, but
Let's take a look.
we're plowing through.
You got at least a minute,
What?
unless you want to use that extra 3 you get for good behavior. Then maybe you gotta.
Okay, well, Ashgacha Pratit wants us to tell this story. I don't want to kill this story in a minute.
Right.
But now you have another thing to be feel guilty about tomorrow. Tomorrow when you say the bracha of Pokeach Ivrim, and you forget to pay attention to what you're saying, now you have what to feel guilty about. He says, I could have asked Hashem to give me the vitality, to give me the power to see with Ashgacha Pratit, to see what's going on during the day, so that I can face the day differently. Now I know the difference between right and wrong. Now I can see the difference between right and wrong, and I can see how Hashem is managing my day from all the things I can control. Continue next week with David.